Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to talk about Canada, but about comparing Canada. Do you know what is compare? For example, let me write it for you. Compare. So what is compare? When there are two things, 1, 2, and you talk about them by using ER then. Do you know what that is? ER then. For example, we can say there is Bill and Tom. Let's talk about Bill. Bill is 42 years old. He is 1.6 meters tall. He is 100 kilos, and he is a very good student. What about Tom? Tom is 25 years old. He is 2 meters tall, 70 kilos, and he is a good student. As you can see, he is very good at math, but he is not very good at math. Okay, so how do we talk about these two people by comparing? Okay, so if you look here, when we talk about two things or two people, we can use the word, the short words or words ending in Y by putting ER, ER. And we also write than, okay? Richer than. For example, we can say, who do you think is richer? More rich. Rich means they have more money. Who has more money? I think Bill has more money. Why? Because he looks like he's wearing good clothes and he is thinking about his money. But Tom doesn't look like he has much. So we can say Bill is richer, ER, richer than Tom. Bill is richer than Tom. Okay, what about if we have a long word, not a short word, a long word? For example, difficult. How do we use difficult when we are talking about two things? We say more. So more difficult than. Okay, more difficult than. For example, maybe we can say mathematics is more difficult than English, right? More difficult than. Okay, what about the word good? Do we say gooder than or more good than? No, good is different. We say better, better than. What about the word bad? Do we say more bad or badder than? No, we say the word worse than. Okay? So this is how we talk about two things. We use ER, than, for short words. We use more difficult than for long words. And if we have the word good or bad, we say better or worse. Okay? So here we have number 1. I want you to write me some sentences using than or more something than or better or worse. And I want you to use these 2 pictures. So, number 1, let's look at rich and poor. These are the words we want to use. So let's look at A. Tom is then Bill. We want to use rich or poor. Which word do we use? Tom is. Tom is over here. And Bill is over here. Who do you think is richer? Who do you think is poorer? We said that we think that Tom is poorer and Bill is richer. Yes? So we are going to put this in a sentence. Tom over here, is what? Poorer or richer than Bill? Which one? Tom is poorer than Bill. Tom is poorer than Bill. And you see there's than already here. So you don't need to write than right now. It's already in the sentence here. Okay, what about Bill? Bill is over here. So who is richer, Bill or Tom? We said Bill. So we're going to say Bill is, we're going to use this word, rich. I'm going to say richer than Tom. Bill is richer than Tom. All right. What about the word intelligent? Intelligent. So I want you to write the name of the person. Then I want you to write is. Then you will choose the word intelligent, but you have to write ER or more. Then we have the word than, and then you have to write another name. So let's talk about intelligent. Intelligent means smart. Who do you think is smarter, Bill or Tom? Who do you think is smarter or intelligent, Bill or Tom? We said Bill can do very nice math problems in his head. So we think that Bill is smarter than Tom. But we need to use the word intelligent. So we're going to start with the word Bill is, right? Bill is. Now we need to know about long words. Remember long words? Long words, we use the word more, more. So we will say Bill is more intelligent than Tom. Okay, Bill is more intelligent than Tom. All right. What about the word happy? Happy. How are we going to write a sentence about Bill and Tom and use the word happy? Remember, whenever you have the word why, we change it to not ER, but, oops, we change it to IER, like this, okay? So if you look here, we have happy. Whenever you have the word why, we change to IER, just to let you know. So how do we say, who is happier? Let's look. Ooh, he has a nice big smile on his face, and he looks very worried and sad. Okay, so we will say Bill again. Bill is, what is he? Happier. Remember IER. Y changes to I. Then, don't forget this word. Then. Bill is happier than who? Tom. Tom. Bill is happier than Tom. Okay, so this is how I want you to do this worksheet. You will finish number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For 4, 5, 6, 7, you can talk about Tom and Bill. But for number 8 and 9, you can choose your own word. English is then my language. Number 9, Canada is then my country. All right, so this is for comparatives. Number 2, we're going to talk about your country and Canada. Your country and Canada. Similar or different? Compare Canada with your country. So here, I want you to write some information about Canada and your country. Okay, so here you will write your own country, the name of your country. The name of your country may be, for example, you might be from Syria, right? Or you might be from Iraq, or you might be from Sudan, right? You might be from China, wherever. And you might be from Eritrea, right? Okay, so here you're going to write the name of your country, and you are going to write some information about Canada and your country. So for example, let's talk about Canada here. What is the capital of Canada? Do you know? You're going to write the capital of Canada. What is the size of Canada? How big is Canada? We talked about this. You can also find the answers on Google, okay? So what is the size of Canada? How big is Canada? What is the population of Canada? How many people? So we talked about Canada's people, right? And we said that Canada, for example, has a total of 37,894,799 people. So we're going to write that number here, 37,894,799. Oops. People. Okay. So here, for example, is the population of Canada. Seasons and climate. What is the weather like in Canada? What kind of seasons do we have? Do you know what are seasons? For example, we have summer, winter, fall, spring. Also, climate. Climate means, is it hot? Is it cold? Is it rainy? Is it snowy? What is the climate? Oceans. How many oceans does Canada have? So I want you to write the names of the 3 oceans that Canada has. Biggest lake. What is the name of the biggest lake in Canada? Do you know? If you don't know the answer to anything, you can just type the answer in Google. Biggest lake in Canada. Do you see here? The largest lake in Canada is probably one of the Great Lakes. If you look here, Lake Superior is the largest of the Great Lakes of North America, and it is also the largest lake in Canada. So we can say Lake Superior. What about the longest river? Do you know about the longest river? You can also find this here. Where is it? Longest river in Canada. We have here the longest river in Canada is the Mackenzie River. Do you see? It's the longest river in Canada. So we can write this information here. Right, the Mackenzie river. All right, mountains. What are the names of the mountains that we know in Canada? Do you know the name? So we can, you know these names. We've talked about these before. So mountains in Canada. We know that the Canadian Rockies or Canadian Rocky Mountains are the name of the mountains in Canada. So we're going to write the Rocky Mountains. Yes. Biggest island. What is the biggest island in Canada? Biggest island. Maybe you know it's the name of a province. You know the name of the island that is in Canada? It's the biggest. It is called Baffin Island. Okay, and I just wrote biggest island in Canada. Okay, so this is what it is, Baffin Island. Industries. Do you know what are industries? Industries are things in your country that make things. So for example, maybe Canada has a fishing industry. Fishing means Canada farms fish and sells to other places, other countries maybe. Or maybe we have a lumber industry. Lumber is, for example, lots of trees. So we have a lot of wood. This is wood. What about different industries in Canada? So we can also look this up. Industries in Canada. Ooh, look here, automotive industry. Automotive means cars. So Canada sells a lot of cars. Other industries that we might have are, for example, natural resources. Natural resources are like water, trees, right? Lots of that in Canada. So we can write automotive. And natural resources. We also have one more, tourism. Lots of people like to visit Canada, right? Travel. It's called tourism. Okay, money name. What's the name of the money in Canada? You know that. Biggest city. You also know that. Languages. You also know that. Any other information that you know about Canada? So I want you to write all of this information here about Canada. And then I want you to do the same with your country, okay? For example, maybe you are from Syria, or maybe you are from China, maybe you are from Sudan. Wherever you're from, you're going to write the name of your country. Then you're going to write the name of the capital. How big is it? Size. You need a number here, okay? For example, Canada is, how big, size of Canada. We can write size of Canada. This is area. If you can see here, this is the size of Canada. What is the size? 9.985 million kilometers squared. So very big. So I want you to write the size of your country, population of your country, seasons. What kind of seasons do you have? What's the weather like? What's climate? Some names of oceans. What's the biggest lake? What's the longest river? Do you have any mountains? What are their names? Biggest island. What is an island? Island is when you have water all around land. Names of industries. What does your country sell? What does it make? Name of the money. Biggest city. What is the biggest city in your country? What are the languages in your country? And any other information. Okay, so we want you to compare Canada and your country. After you finish, I want you to go to the bottom of this bottom of this paper. And I want you to write some sentences comparing the country, your country, and Canada. Okay, so I want you to use some of these information to write sentences about your country and Canada. For example, if you see size, maybe your country has a small size and Canada has a big size, you can say Canada is larger or bigger than my country, or than Syria, or than China. Okay. Population. Canada has fewer people than my country, right? Maybe your country has more people. So I want you to write me some sentences over here about your country and Canada, at least 3 sentences. For tomorrow, we are going to do some speaking, and I want you to look at this paper, and I will call you and we will do some speaking. So I will have this conversation with you. For example, I will ask, where are you from? You can say, I'm from Toronto. Example, right? Toronto picture. I will say, from Toronto, what's it like there? What's it like there? What's it like means, how is it in Toronto? So you will give me this information. Well, it's colder, ER, in the winter. It's also bigger and more crowded. More crowded because this word is a big word, so we say more crowded. And I will say, it sounds interesting. And I will have these conversations with you. Number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, and 6. For example, you will use number 1, this picture. This person is from Iqaluit. Iqaluit. This is the capital of Nunavut. So I will ask, where are you from? You will say, I'm from Iqaluit. From Iqaluit, what's it like there? How is it there? And you will answer, well, it's colder all year round. So you will use cold, but put ER, colder all year round. It's also smaller, ER, see here, ER, it's also smaller and more friendly. Okay, so you will change the words in each picture. I will say, it sounds interesting. All right, so we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 conversations. Okay, so I want you to practice this for tomorrow. Okay, everybody, I hope you have a good day. Make sure you finish your work by tomorrow. Bye-bye.